Hi, and welcome to virtualsheetmusic.com's Meet the Expert. My name is William Fitzpatrick, and I am the Timianka Professor of Violin at the Hall Musco Conservatory of Music, which is located on the campus of Chapman University in Orange, California. I am as well Director of MusiShare in Irvine, California. Well, what I'd like to talk about in this video is how we learn to stretch your fingers in the left hand, particularly your fourth finger. In my generation, you see, I am 64 and about to turn 65, so I come from an entirely different generation. We grew up using the fingers, or learning to use the fingers, in this order. First finger, then second, then third, then fourth. This resulted in a lot of people having or starting to have or allowing pain when extending the fourth finger, or even placing sometimes the fourth finger on the string. Now, when I was exploring the fourth finger issue, I came across Stradic. And especially in the early parts of it, when it's in the lower positions, there were 3 to 4 extensions. Now, those extensions did cause me a lot of issue. And I always sort of wondered, should it be this painful? Well, I came across this book by Mr. I.M. Yampolsky on the principles of violin fingerings. The book was printed in 1967, and he talks about the natural position of the fingers, which he describes as a whole step, then half step, then a whole step. A whole step, half step, whole step. Well, I took this to heart, and for many, many years, I taught it this way. I even discovered octaves this way, from a whole step. I used that idea. But though I think the idea is correct, I actually have come to understand, or to believe, that that natural position is actually a whole step, half step, and a half step. Whole step, half, half. And this creates a major third from the first to the fourth finger. So, with this in mind, if I move my fourth finger up to an E, I can stretch backwards to the B, and guess what? There's no pain. Here. Now I'm going to stretch my fingers back. And I'm not stretching. I'm going the other way. In fact, I'm sort of doing it backwards. Rather, I'm going. Now, what about those extensions? Suppose I had to go to an F. Well, if I target that F, I move backwards. Again, no pain. Well, the implications are enormous, at least I think so, as then fingered octaves, tenths, etc. are now in our grasp, not only limited to those with very large hands. Let's take a close look at tenths. In particular, why don't we say from a B to a D. Now, that's a fairly large distance. Normally, we would go from that B and stretch up to that D. Well, what would happen if we did it the other way? What would happen if we started from the D and stretched back? What do you know? It's so much easier. Well, if it works for tenths, what about fingered octaves? What about a B to a B and a C sharp to a C sharp? Oh my God. What if I did it the other way? I'm hitting the octaves, a little out of tune, but I'm hitting those fingered octaves much easier and with much less pain than I would if I tried it the other way. You know, in Wieniawski's D minor concerto, there's a passage where everybody seems to have an issue with. Some people we do it all kinds of ways. What about with the fingered octaves? Now that my finger can do it. It's just easier to do. But it's backwards. Now, it's quite the mind change to come to grips with this setup. But once you've accomplished this, well, I really believe it's worth the effort. Well, that's it for this video. If you have a comment or question or special request, please feel free to post it. See you next time.